Coco Chanel is credited for the rule that before you leave the house, you should look in the mirror and remove one accessory to avoid overcomplicating your look. Today's film would have been wise to follow this advice. Instead, we get an overcomplicated story about kids building and defending a treehouse, one man's PTSD struggles, a poor family struggling and dreaming of a real home, a racist school teacher, an escalating animosity between two families leading to a death-defying battle in a water tower. Yep, that's right. On today's Two Limes and a Lemon podcast, we're talking about 1994 film The War.
Are we having theme music? Like, how do we... Is it just start with us talking?
Yeah, Dave's gonna do us some, like, a jingle, I think.
Dave.
Nah.
Danielle.
Two Limes
and a Lemon.
Hi there, welcome to this week's Two Limes and Lemon podcast. My name's Danielle, and I'll be the host for this week. I'm joined, as always, by my two friends, Nat and Dave. Say hi, guys.
Howdy there, Danielle.
Hi, guys.
What the hell was that?
That was the, like, hillbillies. Oh, I don't know where they're from. They're just from...
They're from Mississippi.
Mississippi.
You did much better with the Australian accent. We're going to start out this week's episode, like we do, as always, with our consuming segment. So what's everybody been up to for the week? Could be movies, games.
That's what that sounded like then.
It could be movies, games, TV, even food, if that is what moved you this week. So let's start off with Dave. Dave?
So I'm going to talk guinea pigs. I have unleashed them onto the carpet now. They still have their little run home and they still live there quite happily. I've been taking out the plastic sheets to allow them to run around on the carpet. At first, they were very shy, and now they're like ecstatic when they see me, because I've got to block out little hiding places for them so that they don't go behind the sofa or under the TV. When they see me now getting the other plastic sheets to sort of cover those up, they all start looking a bit excited. They are loving it. They explore the whole area. Today, I opened up the hallway for them, and one of the brave guinea pigs, Cecil, decided to go venture out, and it's quite dark in that hallway, so he went on his own, and he came back. So
is this hallway within your apartment, or is it like the hallway?
Yes, it's not just like the stairs, no.
Okay, that's where you had me
the front
worried.
door, gave him a little backpack and said, off you go.
He sent him off on his little north adventure.
Yeah, he's going to find new parents.
Yeah, so I let him.
He was like, Wilden is clearly loved more than me. I'm going to find somebody to talk about me.
I'm going to go sue you. So now they're exploring a bit more, and you can see their little happy faces. They're excited to check out the corners of the whole room now. So it's very cute. I'll have to send videos. Nat can agree on that because she was there one time when they were out running about. It was very cute. Yeah,
they're very like inquisitive, which is good because you don't want ones that are like scaredy cats.
Do they chew on things?
Yes.
The one lead that was hanging down, Cecil made a beeline for the fan, and we were all like, no!
Clapped your hands, and he was like, whoa, okay, I won't do that anymore. It's good. Yeah, Nat was right, because when I first got them, you were like, you want to get a spritey one, because that would do the exploring and encourage the other one to go as well, which has happened now. So Cecil goes out, and then Wilton's like a bit curious, and then realises it's safe, and then goes and joins his brother, and then they just go around sniffing stuff. That's great.
It is cute that they go around together though, because it's like they've got the whole run of the living room, but they're still like, quick, let's go together.
Holding hands, like, oh, off we go.
How about you, Nat? What have you been up to this week?
I watched the movie Abigail, which I always want to call Annabelle. Like, even when I was talking straight after it, I was like, I don't know, Annabelle's just in my head more than Abigail, but it's the vampire movie with like the ballerina vampire. It's one of those movies that for ages I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch it, but it's just said that it's leaving Netflix in like a month, so I was like, oh, I've got to watch it now because we've got a time limit on it.
Does it have the guy from Downton Abbey in it?
Yeah, Dan Stevens and Catherine Newton, who is in like every movie I seem to be watching at the moment. I've watched her in Abigail. I watched her in what was that one? It's like Ready or Not 2. And then I've just watched a shark movie with her yesterday, The Devil's Mouth on Amazon Prime. So I'm Catherine Newton'd out. I mean, I don't know how much you guys know of the premise of it, but for the viewers out there that don't know, they basically are all kind of criminals, basically go and kidnap this very like millionaire's daughter who's a ballerina, and they're going to hold her for ransom until her dad pays off like a ransom, basically. But it turns out that she's a vampire, which I'm not spoiling because that's in the trailer. So it's basically the tables turn and then she starts picking off the criminals one by one. But there are some twists and turns about the people, and if there is, because obviously they're criminals and you don't know if you should be rooting for them or not. But I enjoyed it. It wouldn't be something I would watch again. Have you seen it, either of you?
Yeah, I saw it. Can't remember where I watched it, but yeah, I definitely seen it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a bit mad. It got a bit confusing for me midway through when I was like, who's on whose side? What does that character do again? Who's with that? But I think overall, I did enjoy the experience, though.
I think I was on the same page as you. Like, it's one that looked interesting to me, and I've always thought, oh, I'd like to watch that, but I just haven't gotten to it yet. Would you say it's worth watching?
I would say it's worth watching. Yeah, I enjoyed it, but it's not a horror movie that I mean, it's more actiony than horror, I would say. And if you like Swan Lake, the piece of music, then you're in there because it plays a lot. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. How about you, Danielle? What have you been up to this week?
So I don't remember what prompted this, but Nat and I had a conversation where you asked me what games I was playing. And I realized this summer I haven't felt like playing games much. One of my favorite ways to find cute, cozy games to play is like all these cozy Instagram accounts. They'll have like a carousel. If you like this, you'll like that. And so I found the name of this game called The Incident at Galley House. I ended up playing the whole game this week. It's available on Steam. Loved it. It is a puzzle game by the same developers that did that Root Trees Are Dead game that I played a while back. That was like the genealogy game. This was a remake of a game called Type Help. So it's a murder mystery. Your character has been tasked to figure out what happened at this house where a bunch of dead bodies were found. To solve this, you've got this, what they're calling a seance machine. So you have to input where in the timeline a scene happens, the room, and the people in the room, and then the memory,
kind of like Cluedo.
Yeah, and the memory of what happened at that part in the timeline in that room kind of comes to you. And so when the game starts, all of the characters are just these outlines with a number, and so you have to figure out who each character is, and you listen to the dialogue in each scene to figure out the subsequent scenes that are going to tell you what happened throughout. Mystery itself is really interesting. Like, it went to places that I couldn't have anticipated. It really kept me engaged. It was one of those things where I wanted to log off work so that I could go play the game.
Oh, that's good. I haven't had a game like that for ages. The last one I had was like Alan Wake 2. And I really missed that like feeling of wanting to get back to a game to find out what happens next.
You always come across these really good games. I don't know where you find them all, though.
I told you, it's weird sources. Like, it's part of it's kind of getting on the TikTok algorithm that talks about, like, if I'm playing a game and I look up things on either Instagram or TikTok, then I get fed other content. But like I said,
friend slop games. That's all I find.
Which ones?
Like friend slop games that aren't out yet. That's all I managed to find online.
This one I highly recommend. I don't know whether it's worth how much it costs, though. Maybe for me it was, but it might be one that you wait.
How much was it?
Comes down a little bit. I want to say it was $17.99 for me.
Okay.
And it was roughly like 10 hours of gameplay I put into it. So
that's not too bad.
No,
not like Dave's Leave one.
Oh yeah, that leaf game.
His leaves, picking up leaves game.
1 hour, 2 hour game, less than.
Maybe you were just really good at picking up the leaves, and other people.
Yeah, maybe you found your calling.
maybe if you did the books in the library game, you would finish it like in half the
20
time.
20 minutes.
Yeah,
sorted.
So that's going to get us to talking about today's film. We're still in the woods. We've gone into the woods. We're staying in the woods for a little bit longer. And this is another 90s family film that's a little too heavy for most kids. But maybe
this one is more radio flyer.
Yeah, maybe that is why late Gen Z, elder millennials, like the Zennials, are of stronger stock. Like, we grew up on these films that just like laid it all bare. Pulled no punches. So,
But has anyone seen that film though? Because I don't think we have, so we can't really say.
What?
What film?
This film.
What did we watch it when we were younger? You mean?
I've never heard of this movie. So
no, I didn't watch it when I was younger.
Like we've grown up with these movies.
We watched a lot of films that are like this from that era.
Homeward Bound or something like that.
Yeah.
The war, you say. What is this about? So this is a film about the Simmons family. It's narrated from the point of the twin daughter Lydia, but the top billing goes to her twin brother in this, Stu, played by Elijah Wood. It's a portrait of post-Vietnam War Mississippi, in which the father has come back from the war with severe PTSD. He's unable to keep a job, and the family is living in complete poverty. The kids, we're in the summer. The kids have decided to spend the summer building this elaborate treehouse where you've got the boy and his two friends and the girl and her two friends, and they're gonna build this tree house that no child could actually have built. It's like
it's so elaborate. I mean, I kind of want to live in there.
Yeah. Just need some bean bags. You sorted.
Over the course of the summer, things escalate with the family of kids that own the junkyard, the Lipnickies. And also, the father of the family decides he wants to buy this foreclosed house, which leads him to finally being able to hold down a job. And then we get multiple climaxes. The father sacrifices himself in the mine to overcome his PTSD, Vietnam War regrets. The kids have this full-on battle. And when I say battle, I mean full weaponry. Multiple harrowing events involving this like completely decrepit water tower that has like the Bermuda Triangle of a whirlpool inside of it, and has this like
where does it go to?
It goes to this industrial drain, and then we get, aside from father dying, we get a Hollywood happy ending.
Happy ending, yeah.
Nice
wasn't that nice?
Also, spoilers for the film if you've not watched the film.
If you've not watched the film, where have you been? It came out in 1994.
I remember it coming out, at least. It probably because this was a Kevin Costner film. Kevin Costner, much like Bruce Willis when we were talking about North last week, Kevin Costner was like prime of his career. We've got The Untouchables, Bull Durham, Field of Dreams, JFK, Robin Hood, Prince of Dreams, Bodyguard, all coming out around when this film came out. So,
do you mean Prince of Thieves?
What did I say?
Prince of Dreams?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
for Danielle, it might be.
Also to set up at this time, and I think this was because people who were either children or had actually gone to Vietnam, the Vietnam War, were in the position to tell stories. There were so many Vietnam War stories as movies. We had Platoon, Full Metal Jacket, Born on the 4th of July, Good Morning Vietnam, Casualties of War.
I kind of felt like the war was a weird name for this movie because it didn't touch too much on the war. It was more like, I guess it was the war between Elijah Wood's lot versus the hillbilly lot.
I mean, there were a lot of metaphorical wars in this film.
Yeah, I guess so.
We had the Vietnam War. We had the war with the Lipnicki kids. We had the war inside of Stephen's mind as he was like dealing with his PTSD. We had the war that was keeping that family together in poverty. And then we had like the literal war with smoke grenades and Molotov cocktails at the end.
Yeah, I guess I can't take that sentence back. There was a lot of war.
No, I do still agree that the war is a strange one for this.
Oh, sure.
I mean, when it first started and Kevin Costner was telling Elijah Wood like a few bits about his experience, I thought it was kind of going to be like that throughout the movie, where they'd do a bit of the movie and then he'd tell him another little kind of snippet about what had happened. But it seemed like we only really got that one where he was telling him at the beginning, and then it kind of just petered off.
Well, no, we got two
Yeah.
snippets about the Vietnam War, because we got him setting up that he had the nightmares, and then later on, he's like, let me tell you about the war again. And then they're in the trenches and his friend gets shot, and it's the whole helicopter scene where he makes the decision to save himself when his friend is like dying.
Maybe, I reckon you're right in some sense there, Nat, with the fact that it would be nice for him to tell his son stories of the war, and they kind of mimic the kids'
Yeah, that's
life.
what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, like he's almost doing what his dad's doing from these stories, and then he learns from there something or whatever. But yeah, no.
But obviously, he's kind of gilled off like halfway through, and then it's like, oh well, he's not going to get any more stories out of him, then, is he?
Yeah.
If anything, there was one point during the like carnage of the Treehouse War where there's like smoke all over the place, and like Elijah Wood's character is all torn up, kind of looking off in the distance. And I thought, oh, this is where he's going to start getting PTSD from this thing. Somebody's definitely going to die. Going back to last week when we were talking about the film critic Roger Ebert, who completely hated North, Roger Ebert highly praised the performances in this film. In his review said Elijah Wood was the most talented actor in his age group in Hollywood history based on this performance.
Wow.
There we go.
Which I will say, I thought the girl did a really good job too.
I mean, there is other movies where there has been children of his age group that have been pretty stellar. The first one that came to my mind was, I mean, I don't know if it came up before this, but The Piano with Anna Paquin.
Oh no, this was before, I think, The Piano.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because she was amazing in that.
For each of you, what was the strongest of the storylines? What was the most compelling to you in this?
The war between the children, the two families. Or like the friends. Mm-hmm. That to me was each time it came back to them like defending the treehouse, or they were going to do the like who can swim across the tank. That was the most exciting parts of the movie for me.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it was the childhood drama between the two families, especially the bit when they're trying to do that dare. Whoever gets to get across the whirlpool in the silo can get the treehouse. And that was quite intense. When me and Nat watched it together, and we were both like, "Oh shit! Oh fuck! Oh no! Oh, he's gonna die! Oh, don't do it! Swim!" It was all intense.
They kept going back there, so we'd be like, "Oh, they're out of there now," and then it's like, "Nope, we're gonna have another scene back there," and we're like, "Oh no, my heart can't take it."
Someone's gonna fall in. Oh no, they're falling. Oh, the key's been left up there. Oh no, they're gonna have to come back for that.
I think they could have put the whole father story just as them talking about it. The father could have been away in the mental institution still, and they still could have had the story where the mother, like the family is struggling because the mother, has
got two jobs.
Yeah. And the father's not around. But yeah, I agree. I think the kid's story was the strongest. I thought they could have made a whole movie out of the sister and her relationship with those two girls, and then that random subplot of the racist teacher. Like that could have been its own thing.
Oh, the Christine Baranski character.
Yeah, that was so out of place. Yeah, it was so inappropriate as a summer school teacher.
The worst part was when she came on, I was like, oh, I love Christine Baranski, and then I was like, well, like she can't be my favourite character anymore.
Yeah, she was a bit nasty.
She's such a good actress.
But it was so strangely out of nowhere. And it was trying to say a lot. Like what it was trying to say was worthwhile, but in the midst of all the other plot lines of it, it was like, did we need this extra bit where, the teacher basically makes all of the black students sit in the back of the room, and then Elvadine, who is Lydia's best friend, stands up and also gives this she
delivers an amazing speech.
Yes, very traumatic too, for points that we're never going to get again. Like about how she got $20 for her birthday because she let her uncle spank her with her pants down. You're just like, wait, what? Kids family film?
And that was like, I missed that bit. I was like, wait, what? Because you went, and I was like, wait, what happened? What's going on? I looked down for 2 seconds and this big oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was like,
this big admission. I was just like, oh my god, I wasn't expecting this scene.
She was a really good actor.
All of the kid actors in this were really good, actually. I couldn't fault one of them.
I think the thing that worked really well was just that they felt like kids, and what they were saying felt realistic. It was all very it wasn't like child acting, like bad child acting. It felt real, and they felt like each one had a struggle. And I guess because the film's quite a slow burner, it allowed us to understand and know the kids a bit more before the story went on. So they kind of did,
especially Billy.
First. Yeah.
Oh,
so they did little random bits first, and then we could get to know them. Then boom, insert drama, and then me and Nat are at the edge of our seats like, ah.
I think also what was good is it wasn't easy to pick a side. Like, you could see why the like kids from the scrapyard were doing it as much as you could see why Elijah Wood's lot were doing it. Like, there wasn't a right or a wrong. Like, they've all had really hard lives, and this is how they're kind of dealing with it, I suppose. It all kind of comes to a head as well when they go to the place where they're going to put the bid on the house.
Yeah.
And Kevin Costner and then the dad get into it as well, of the scrapyard kids, and they all like have a proper Barney. But then I do like the way that Kevin Costner kind of resolves it, and that he gives the kids the candy floss at the end, and he's like, they look like they haven't been given anything in a while.
Yeah, they make him like a perfect dad.
My shout out for the mum. She's such a good mum. The fact that she's collected all those like bottles for like a for a rainy
the Coke
day.
bottles.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, we need to buy a car. We've got all those Coke bottles. And she's like, that's good. That was supposed to be for like something for me, but okay. Or the family. And then he's like, oh yeah, we need it. And it's like, okay, cool. And so she sacrifices so much for the family. Like, I mean, like, not a great intro though for her when she's burning eggs, but I think she does quite a lot of good stuff.
I think she's juggling enough.
She's juggling enough not to worry about, yeah.
I thought she had to be squirreling some money away, though, because she had the glossiest hair ever for the poor... Like,
she did have lovely, like, Rapunzel hair.
Yeah, everybody was, like, a little dirty. You know, the kids didn't quite look like they had a brush... Or the daughter at least didn't look like a brush had been pulled through her hair in a while. But the mother had just, like, silk hair. But
you know what? I don't begrudge her that, because she's got two jobs to provide for this family. She's got to keep a job. She's got to look presentable.
And the reason I noticed it, though, is because I thought her hair was going to fly into the fire when she was, like, frantically frying those eggs at the beginning.
I mean, I will say, like, in other movies where you've got, like, a dad character that's got, like, trauma, they just kind of sit around and do nothing. Whereas he did go out and get, like, multiple jobs in this movie. Like, he is trying to provide.
And we never see him have sort of a traditional PTSD breakdown to get him out of one of these jobs. He ends up in the mine job, which eventually is his downfall, but, like, it kind of ties up his storyline in a nice little knot where once he wasn't able to, like, he let his friend die in the Vietnam War, but now he's sacrificed his life so that his friend survived.
Yeah. I would say the scene where he gets clobbered in the face with a boulder falling from the roof, we all just turned to each other and we were just like, oh my god, like, we didn't expect this.
Like, the portrayal of what a summer like for a bunch of kids is
it's building forts and tree houses. Yes, that nostalgia is definitely there. Like, that is just one of the things you look forward to doing as a kid.
And I don't know if kids have those kind of summers anymore? Because I feel like past the 90s, parents were a lot more involved anytime their kids were playing. For me as a kid,
I don't know any children to ask.
For me as a kid, like, summer meant leave the house and spend all day outside and then come in at dinner time.
I think it's more family time nowadays. I feel like it's definitely a thing where young kids probably go out with mates. I mean, I've got like neighbours outside that you hear the kids running around and playing, but they're not building forts or anything. And if they are, they're probably like, it's all over Instagram probably, or some kind of TikTok of them building. But I do remember as a kid that we used to build bases, and like we had like the boys club, and there was like the other side was the girls club. We used to dig holes and like, that's where you can go to the toilet, even though like literally around the corner is our house. We could have just gone there. But it definitely remember those days of just sort of like, I'm thirsty, run back at my house, go through the back garden, just grab a glass, drink like down a bottle of of water, and just rush back out. Mum's like, your dinner's in like 10 minutes, and I'm like, okay, bye. Has a little watch on. Mum's like, come back at this time.
My experience was you would find, like, it wasn't even your own house. You would just turn on somebody's outdoor hose, drink from the hose, and then turn it off.
Drink from the hose.
Yeah.
Spraying. We used to do like water fights and stuff, so that could have been like our war event, I guess. Like the whole, because we had a whole like neighborhood of us kids. We used to go and fights and stuff, yeah.
I feel like we had a Boys Against Girls war at one point. I always wanted walkie-talkies because it just seemed fun.
I always wanted walkie-talkies,
But then I got them and we didn't really know what to do with them because you had to like be in 2 different places, and when you bought like the kids walkie-talkies, it wasn't enough to be able to talk to my friend across the street at night or anything.
Yeah.
And then we found out, I think, that the boys had the same brand of walkie-talkies, and so they could hear what we were saying. And
that's hilarious.
There's one scene in this where they've found this like wheelbarrow with a bike sort of attached to it.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So dangerous looking, and they decide to like run, like a couple of them are in the wheelbarrow and a couple of them are driving it, and they go down what looks like just a face of rock and fly into sewage pond or something.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty disgusting. And I remember because obviously Elijah Wood and his friends go down at first and they land up in the normal pond. And then they're like, oh, there's this other sewage pond. Like, we're going to, like, rig it so that when the other people go down it, they're going to fly off into this. But they don't just, like, adjust it a little bit. They put, like, a whole ramp so that it's like somebody's going to break their neck going down this thing.
Like, if anything, if there's, like, a future for these kids, Elijah Wood's character is going to become an engineer. And then I think the daughter is going to become, like, a author or something.
Yeah.
I will say it reminded me of, like, especially the danger they put themselves in when they're climbing on top of things they shouldn't. I remember a thing when I was a kid where we went bike riding, and it was like this. It was called like the Death Hill or whatever. I can't remember what they called it. And it was like, I dare you to go down it, and then I was like, no. And then some other kid got dared to do it, and they basically peer pressured him to do it. And it's definitely like in that movie where it's like he's about to do it, and then like you got the POV of this death hill, and then the kid flies down there, falls off his bike, completely broke his arm to the point where it's like all floppy.
No.
And we're like kids. Half the kids just run away because they don't know how to deal with it. And I remember like it was me, my brother, and a few others were like, we need to call an ambulance. So we just like knocked on someone's door and was like, our friend's broke his arm. It was so intense, and like the ambulance turned up, and we were like, and the mum was like, what have you done to my child? So like,
oh no.
Yeah, so like some of us stayed to obviously make sure this kid went to like hospital. Others just fled the scene. And I was like, so like watching this film, it was definitely like, I remember those times of doing like those outrageous stuff where you're like, death doesn't matter. Like there's no consequence. And it's like, actually, kids, get off the landmine, please. Yeah.
I'm so surprised I didn't break any bones as a kid. I grew up in Pittsburgh, which is hills that end in hills starting up another hill, and just riding my bike all over. There was one point I remember the brakes on my bike didn't work, and I was coming down my street, and there was like a break. There was like a forested area and somebody's fence, and between those two places was a hill of rocks, and I just like went over the edge into the pile of rocks, broke nothing. I'm so lucky, like my brain is intact, never broke a bone. But I wasn't a climbing kid. Did you guys climb up in things?
No, I wasn't.
It was like a fear of heights thing for me.
We used
definitely like an explore and make bases sort of kid, but not a climbing trees sort of kid.
No, we used to climb all the roofs on our old secondary school and like jump off them.
Oh my goodness.
Onto like a mattress that we've found like someone's thrown away. It's like, I know.
Such a boy.
Like, yeah, we used to just climb up, and then like the caretaker would run out and be like, get off those roofs. I'm going to tell your parents. We're like, running away. In this film, do you think these parents should have been a bit more like acknowledging of their kids misbehaving and going to these places?
No, they were too busy trying to keep food on the table.
To survive, yeah. But I mean, the only one I would say probably needed a bit more care was Billy. Like, he deserved a bit better. He was just kind of left to his own devices in the scrapyard. Like, he was like the outsider to his own family.
Yeah, clearly the father is terrible and doesn't pay attention to them. He's kind of left the older kids to watch after the younger kids, and Billy they never quite say what's up with him. if there's anything specifically wrong with him. He's definitely a little slow and in his own little world. And when the girls start going to the scrapyard to get supplies for the tree house, they end up bribing him. So they give him a dime every time they go to the scrapyard. And to the point that he
Hey boy, so many ice creams.
But he saves them at one point. They're about to get caught at one point, and he hides them from his siblings. So which further endeared him in my heart. But yeah, he uses all of his dimes from the summer to buy as many ice cream. When he's buying this handful of ice creams, I thought, oh, he's gonna give it to we're gonna have a bonding moment between all the kids as he gives them all ice cream. Look, we're all kids. We all love ice cream. We can be friends. But no, he
ate himself.
Yeah, and just sat there in a food coma.
But you know what? He got his comeuppance because he unfortunately was the kid that fell in the big old vat of swirling death juice.
Them getting yelled at and told to mind Billy more leads them to going to find the treehouse. Oh, and then the father died. The father, after the rock falls on him, dies.
Totally called it. He was like, Dave was like, he's waking up. He's going to be all right. I was like, no, they wake up before they die. And then he was like, oh. And then the next scene was like, the hospital called, your dad is dead.
And this sort of
didn't she?
Yeah, she don't sugarcoat it. She just tells it as it is.
Oh, okay.
But whereas previously Elijah Wood might have just let the Lipnickies do what they had to with the treehouse. He is gonna fight, so he goes and he into his dad's army locker and pulls out smoke bombs, and they've got some sort of grenade launcher that they're putting apples or tomatoes in. But he takes his dad's Medal of Honor with him too. That's how invested he is in this final battle. And that no kids die in this fight. They're launching apples at each other. There's there's fireworks. The whole structure gets torn down at the end because of how epic this battle is. And then within the midst of it, Billy gets into his head that he has to get the lock back. If anything, for me, climbing up and down that tower was the harrowingest of tasks that could be. And they just keep going off.
The dare should have just been climb the ladder, not to swim across the actual water.
But I don't know how that water tower was even it was just ready to fall down and rust out anyhow. And was it? I don't know what it was supplying water to. It had an active drainage system that was causing this whirlpool constantly to happen in it, and the water looked foul. It didn't look like drinkable water.
No, it was all a bit weird. I thought originally the dare was going to be just to jump off into the reservoir.
Me too,
but
no,
they had to make it odd. Yeah,
odd. And the Lipnicki kid doesn't even do it.
Do you know what though? I did like the fact that once Billy had gone in, they all kind of got together and they were like, we need to save. And even the older kids that had been horrible were appreciative of what Elijah did to get him out of there.
Oh, yeah, they full on save the brother, which makes me a little mad at the nice little bow ending we get. And Lydia in the end is telling us all of this from this incredibly eloquently written summer school essay, and she was like, we all became friends. We were going to put that treehouse back together, and then we got bored. I just didn't finish it.
Yeah.
All right.
To be fair, that is very realistic though, because how many times next summer you weren't going to be doing the same stuff you were the summer before.
Yeah, but
life goes on.
This is a story, and we've now united these. If the main story is that these kids have had this war and they've resolved it, maybe they don't keep building the treehouse, but they're still friends, and there's some
she didn't say they got bored of their friendship. She just said we're not doing the treehouse anymore.
We didn't say they were doing anything else.
Instead.
They've gone to the arcade or something. It's mid-90s now. It's fine.
He was so obsessed with this girls chasing that
I didn't even pick up on.
and then they find out that the dad all along had gotten the house for them, and they move into the house, which the dad said just needed a little rouge and lipstick, but I'm sure is completely structurally unsound, and the mother is had to work a third job.
Well, the first house, I'm pretty sure, had termites. I'm sure they said that was part of the reason it got torn down. So this one's probably got termites too. But also, it was like a silent bid or whatever they call them, where you put in an anonymous bid and don't know what anyone else has done. But they were like, he was the only one that bid, which was more annoying because he could have put just like $5 down and he'd have still got the blimmin' house. He put down like 300.
But also, like, the father character was a much better person. And so, of course, he had saved up to build this dream house or get this dream house for his family. And he's not alive to see it. But
the end.
But the thing that, as I was saying, the one thing that struck me was how eloquent Lydia's essay was at the end. And I just happened to find some writing of my own from whenever I
Oh my god.
So I wanted to read to you this ending passage from an assignment that I think I did when I was in 8th grade called My Biography.
Oh my god, I am so excited.
I'm ready.
I think someday I'll look back on this biography and laugh, maybe even shed a small tear. But I know I'll never forget it, because without the past, there would be no future. ...
Oh my god.
So
you sound like you're having an existential crisis.
So much like Lydia, you know.
Yeah.
12, 13-year-old girls.
Is that it? Is that how it ends?
Yeah.
I might cry and then that's it.
I might shed a tear,
my biography,
but without the past, there is no future.
Yeah, my 8th grade biography ends that way.
Love it.
Let's get to our favorite characters in the war. Dave, did you have a favorite and least favorite character?
I think my favorite character has to be the hillbilly dad, just because he's like, "Rrr-pa-dur-pa-dur." I have no idea what he was saying throughout the thing. He was just very
He was
angry.
a chicken, apparently.
Yeah. He was fun. He was like, I could see that the actor probably had lots of fun playing him.
He's cruel.
Least favorite character. Yeah, but as in like playing it like over the top kind of bad parent kind of thing. And least favorite character is the whirlpool, because it just never stopped spinning around, sucking up children. There you go.
Nat.
Well, I don't think it's any surprise that my favourite character is Billy. He was the only character where I really cared what happened to him, because I felt like he was kind of just on the edge of both groups, and either way he was kind of the one that always got forgotten about the most until his big fall.
We also didn't mention how he gets like a reverse mohawk. His brothers give him a reverse mohawk whenever they get in trouble
they shave the middle of his head. Yeah, Billy's like so like the forgotten child. My worst character, I'm gonna say Stu.
Why?
I'm going to say because he definitely escalated that situation at the like the bid for the house place, that fair.
Yeah.
He should have just kept his mouth shut. He knows his dad's got PTSD and he's struggling, and then he starts shouting his mouth off to the dad, and I felt like that situation, he was the instigator in all of that.
But saving little Billy's life doesn't mean nothing to you.
No, but I don't really have a reason to not like anyone else. And yeah, Lydia's the one that gave him mouth to mouth, so...
Oh yeah, Elijah was just shoving his chest, wasn't
He's like, I ain't kissing him.
Who's your favorite,
my favorite character was Lydia, and even more so, I loved the dynamic with Lydia and her two friends, Elvadine and Amber. It reminded me of my own childhood, where we would make up like choreography to popular songs, or even more likely, because what was playing in the house a lot of times was the music my mother listened to when she was younger, which was the type of music they were listening to in this movie. So we would do a lot of like girl groups kind of choreography and stuff like that. And then my least favorite character, I thought Stu was okay, but I hated his two friends because they were just negligible. Like, they didn't really help much.
They abandoned him at the first sign of trouble. Yeah.
So, and I had to look up their names because I didn't even know their names. Their names were Chet and Marsh. So with that, let's get our final totals on this. We always rate the movies in limes and lemons. Limes for Nat and Dave and lemons for myself. Natalie, what are you rating The War?
I'm going to give it a 2. When I was watching it, I was like, oh, this is boring. It's like 2 and a bit hours. I wasn't particularly enjoying it. However, once I'd finished watching it, there was bits that I kept going back to in my mind that I was like, actually, that was a pretty good scene. Obviously, we've discussed like the water tower scene or like the fighting on the tree house, the bit where Kevin Costner meets his maker with a boulder. Like there was a few scenes in there that like stuck with me afterwards. So I'm going to give it a 2. I think it is a very serious family film. I don't think kids would probably appreciate watching it, even though it's probably they're the target audience as such. But then maybe it's more for the parents that have left those childish years and nostalgia behind them. But I don't think it was a terrible film, but not a film I'd watch again.
Well, Dave, why don't you show this one to your nieces right after you show them North as a double feature and
North.
see how it does?
Oh, no, this film's definitely for adults to watch. I don't think it's for kids. It's got kids in it, but I think, yeah, you hit the nail on the coffin there with the idea that it's for nostalgia purposes for those people like hanging out with their friends when they were younger and sort of playing on that.
Do you think it could have been a kids' movie? Do you think they could have cut down on some of the PTSD elements and made it into...
Yeah, I think there were certain scenes they could have trimmed out of it. But then I think the kids would have found it boring. Like, literally, if they'd got rid of the Kevin Costner bits, yes, it could have been a kids' movie. I think that's probably it. Because, like, they're not going to care about him bidding on a house or his PTSD or any of that stuff. So maybe if you trimmed that, the Christine Baranski character, you could have a kids movie,
or you make more of that. You make that more of part of the story where they have the war with the Lipnicki kids for the fort, and then they also have the war in this classroom. Like, we only see it once, and then we see the end of the school year where everybody is integrated into the classroom, and so I don't know. Dave, what are you giving it?
I'm going to give it a solid 3.5. I'm going to say. I think it was a well-rounded movie. I thought Elijah's performance was great. Yeah, he did a good job as the main character. I mean, there's just so many different characters in this film. They all had enough screen time to make you understand their motives and about their character. Yeah, it could have been a little less a slow burner at the start, but I think overall, yeah, it was I liked the movie. It was all right. I wouldn't watch it straight away, but I wouldn't mind watching it again. Danielle?
Originally, when I watched the two of them, this and North together, which again, I don't recommend people watching it as a 2-for-1. Like, it's not a great double
Barbie and
feature.
Oppenheimer thing, no?
Yeah. I'd originally given it 2.5, and then I think, like Nat said, there are scenes in this that I've gone back and thought about a little bit more. So I'm going to give it 2.75. I think for me, I'm not batting it up that much extra. So I think with that, we're going to wrap up, and we're still staying in the woods. We got one more movie next week. Hopefully it's a little lighter than this one. Don't know. Never saw a Flipper before. It could be real dark. And
look, in my head, I've never seen Flipper or Free Willy, but in my head, I'm like, is Elijah Wood standing on a rock and Flipper going over the top?
Oh, that's very true. I am also mixing those two movies up in my head.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I was a Free Willy kid.
Did you like Free Willy? I've not seen either of them.
I've seen Flipper. No, I haven't seen Flipper, but I've seen all the Free Willys. I remember seeing Free Willy at the cinema many, many times.
So with that, it's going to be a goodbye from me.
Bye from me.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.